The year is 1986. And two people are in love. Meet Lori with the poofy 80s style hairdo, and Rob, also with the 80s poofy style hairdo. And both of them have big bellies, because Lori is pregnant. Until one day, her water breaks. So they hop in Rob's car and take that thing down to the Oshawa General Hospital, where after hours in labor, Lori gives birth to a little baby burrito. And they were so happy to have their first boy together. And that's how I became. This is the story of Cory. 2 years later, my mom gave birth to another little baby burrito. His name was Kevin. But now that our house was getting awfully filled up, we had to move. So we moved to the next town over. Curtis. And that's where I met all my best friends. Lots of gingers in my group of friends. But we're still best friends to this day. And when we were kids, we played hockey all winter, baseball and football all summer, went swimming, got in trouble. And then when I was 10, my mom gave birth to another baby boy. His name was Tyler. And I'm pretty sure he was born with a goatee. He is a monster. So then after that, I went to high school. I went to CSS, home of the Cougars. I had good grades, but I got in trouble a lot. Also, when I was a kid, we had a dog. His name was Charlie. He was a black lab, and he took monster poops. I hated cleaning his poops up. One day Charlie died though. Now he's up in heaven and God's cleaning his poop up. What up, God? After high school, I went to college. I took mechanical engineering. Non-destructive evaluation was the course. I even bought this cool truck. I lowered it and put some cool rims on it and had a sound system in it. I was actually a big loser. After college, I bought a little house. I only lived there though for about 11 months until my job moved me up to Sudbury, home of the Big Nickel, biggest nickel mine in the world. But I didn't like it there very much. I stayed for 2 years, but I got very lonely. I had no friends up there. All I did was sit around drinking beer and eating cheeseburgers. I started to get kind of fat, very sad. After I moved back from Sudbury, I bought an old farmhouse. It was built in 1850. I ended up gutting the whole inside and redoing it all. I had no neighbors. I had tons of land, so we used to have huge fires, ride four-wheelers, and just do whatever we wanted out there. I lived there for about 1.5 years. But anyways, I'm a non-destructive technician. So basically what that means is I'm a welding inspector. The non-destructive part means I don't destruct things when I test them. Right? I wear a hard hat and safety glasses. Sometimes. I get to go a lot of cool places. I do x-rays on welds. I do ultrasounds on welds. I've been to nuclear plants, power plants, paper mills, fab shops. I've even been way underground in a gold mine. Through my job, I even met my good buddy Alan. He is a real cool dude. He used to be really good at skateboarding. Now he's got a little baby, a wife, another baby on the way, and they live out in Arizona. He's still my good buddy. In 2013, we decided that we were going to go out and visit Denver together. Neither of us had ever been there, so we figured we'd drive. So we hopped in my truck and drove 26 hours straight to Denver, Colorado. When we arrived, we went out for lunch. And who walked in but the most beautiful girl in the world? Her name was Brittany. So this is how I looked. My tongue hit the floor. My heart was beating into my chest. I even pooped a little. I had to have her.
Oh.
Anyways, we struck up a conversation immediately. She was probably the friendliest person I had ever met. We talked about where we're from and what we wanted to do in life. We argued about cooking. The next day, she took us out on a pontoon boat and showed us around. We went swimming and boating and drank a couple beers. It was one of the best days I've ever had. She even took us back to her house after and cooked us fried chicken. My friend Chad loves fried chicken. When me and Malin got back from Denver, though, we decided this is where we want to live. So we both got visas and anxiously awaited September 13th, the day we moved to Denver. I put my house up for sale. It sold in less than 1 day. I sold it with everything in it. The only thing I brought with me was my truck, my clothes, and obviously my hockey equipment. The three of us got an apartment together in Denver. It was awesome. It was right by Coors Field. We could see baseball games from our balcony. We had a blast. Me and Brittany were falling in love. We spent tons of time together. We did everything together. Went to the movies, went to dinner, cooked food, went for walks, hung out, went to the bars. She took me to a Toronto Maple Leafs game when they were in town playing Colorado. We went to Rockies games. She even had her friends over and we had a Canadian Thanksgiving there. It was awesome. But not long after, excuse me. Not long after that, my work sent me on a long trip, a long project out in the desert of Arizona. Since Alan and I were so good at our jobs, they split us up and wouldn't let us work together. They figured it was a waste of our talents. So they put me as a lead of a long project in Arizona. We were working 7 days a week. We had no cell phone reception whatsoever. Brittany was getting very lonely. Where art thou? I was living in a cave, talking to a fire. It sucked. I had to work every day, no reception, all by myself, out in the desert. I think it lasted about 3 months. I think I saw her twice in 3 months. You know, some days I'd FaceTime her on a rock. I'll tell you what, I was losing my mind. I was miserable. I was lonely. Our phone calls started to get spaced out more and more. She was just wondering when I was coming home, but I was too greedy. I wanted all that money. So I kept working. And when I got home, she gone. I had no idea why she would leave me, but I was never home. Who would want to be with someone that they never see or talk to? All I had was this big belly and no girlfriend. I had lots of money, but no girlfriend. So, after a while, I was just too lonely. I flew home, moved back to the motherland, where I bought a little house in the Schwiggity. I lived right across the street from one of my best friends. He doesn't talk to me anymore, though. And I opened a little wood shop in my backyard. I started making tables and chairs and selling them. Imagine that! Things started getting better. I was around my friends. I was happy. I was going to the gym every day. I liked my job. Imagine this. We started talking again. After a while, we even fell back in love. After a while, it was back on. We were back, baby. We were back together and in love. We would talk all day, every day. My visits would become more and more frequent. I'd use this tablet and she would use some old computer, like Commodore 64 or some piece of junk, because Brittany's real old. I would send her flowers all the time. I even met her mom. We got along great. Me and Grimby are super tight. She had to tell her to stay off her Kool-Aid. But here was the problem. I wanted to move back down and be together. But I didn't want to travel for work anymore. So we racked our brains and racked our brains. What would I do? Maybe I could get a new job. Maybe I could be a Chippendale. No, I don't think that would work. Maybe I could play football. Well, I don't want to hurt anybody or be too good at it. Maybe I could be the guy that gets the seeds out of the seedless grapes. I really don't know how to do that, though. Just when we were about to give up, wham! Saw an ad. NDT technician wanted in, where of all places? Birmingham, Alabama! And guess what? I didn't have to travel anymore. I took that job. I was so happy. I think I even pooped a little. I had to thank the Lord. I also thanked Jesus. He's the one who showed me the job. He said, no problem, man. So I packed up my truck and said, goodbye, Maurice. I moved down to Alabama. That's where we live now. We even bought a little house. We have infinite amounts of pillows in this house. Maybe one day we'll even get engaged. And have little babies. You'll just have to wait and see. Stick with us and find out.